I want to talk to you about how to interpret the Bible correctly. There's so many people who twist the Bible and distort it. Even St. Peter writes in 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 6, it says, Paul's letters, verse 16, Paul's letters contain some things that are hard to understand, which ignorant and unstable people distort as they do other scriptures. So we're warned about people distorting scriptures. Now I want to share with you the two most common mistakes people make in twisting the Bible to try to make it say what they wanted to say. And that's what twisting means. You know, you ever have someone twist your arm and they tell you, say uncle, say uncle. They want you to say what they want you to say. So some people read the Bible and they want it to say what they wanted to say. So they twist it. So what are the two most common mistakes I've noticed people make? First, they try to prove the truth based on what the Bible does not say. Well, the Bible doesn't say this. Well, it doesn't say everything, but all you can do is go with what the Bible actually does say. You know, Jesus didn't resist the devil by saying, it is not written, Satan. That's a stupid argument. No, he says it is written. All you can go by is what is written, not what is not written. Okay? So you cannot make arguments based on silence. The second mistake people make is they add to the Bible. They'll add words to the Bible that logically don't even make sense, but in order to prove their point, they have to add words to the Bible when common sense tells us it doesn't mean that. So that is the second common mistake people make. Now, let me give you 3 examples of that. First one is in Genesis chapter 14, verse 20. It says, Abraham gave Melchizedek a tenth of everything. So that already shows that tithing is before the law. So people who are anti-tithers, you know what they'll say? Well, but he did it only once. Well, stop, time out. When did it say he did it only once? Well, there's only one record of it. So what? The Bible's not giving us an entire record of Abraham's encounter with Melchizedek. All we know is he gave him a tenth of how much? Everything. And even the Hebrew writer equates his tithing with the current tithing of Israel with the Levites. So that's what people do. To try to get around the Bible and twist it, they'll say, he only did it once and therefore it's not really applicable to us. Okay, that's an example. I'll give another example. People will say, you know, the earth is only 6,000 years old. Stop, time out. When did the Bible say? Can you show me where it says it's 6,000 years old? Well, no. Here's how you figure it out. Adam was created on the 6th day, and then we find out how long he lived and his children, and you count all the length of all the children, and experts have figured it out, and it comes out to 6,000 years. Well, stop, time out. You started off with the 6th day, though. You didn't mention the 5th day, the 4th day, the 3rd day. You didn't mention the other days. Well, that's simple. Those are like 24-hour days. Time out. Where does it say 24 hours? Well, it's assumed to say that. Really? Well, how do we get 24-hour days? Don't we get it by the setting of the sun, the rising of the sun and its setting? Yet the Bible says the sun wasn't created till the 4th day. So if the sun's not even around until the 4th day, how do you assume it's 24-hour days? That's people trying to make the Bible fit their theology. Just simply recognize God created the worlds in 6 days and rest on the 7th. And by the way, is he still creating the world? Is he still making things? No. He finished. He's rested. That means today is the 7th day. In fact, Hebrews 4, the Hebrew writer even describes today as the 7th day. So it sure seems to me the 7th day has lasted longer than 24-hour days. Okay? So that's another example of it. I'll give you one final example how people twist the Bible and make it say what it doesn't say. I hear people say, the Apostle Paul preached a different gospel than Jesus and Peter. Really? A different one? Can you show me where Paul says my gospel's different? Well, it says, Paul calls it my gospel. So what? I call my Ford Bronco, but my wife still gets to drive it and she signed it and she's the owner. Just because I say my doesn't mean it's exclusively mine. When you say I go to my church, I would assume there's more people than just you going to the church. Just because Paul says my gospel doesn't mean my different gospel. So what they have to do is they have to add the word different, even though logically it would not mean that. Because any logical person would recognize that if Paul called his preaching gospel and Jesus called it gospel and the apostles called it gospel, it's the same gospel, not different ones. But I'm giving you how people twist the Bible to make it read the way they want it to read. Friend, avoid these two mistakes. Quit making assumptions and trying to prove something based on silence, and quit trying to interject your interpretation by adding words to the Bible, because in the end, you'll end up twisting and distorting the Bible.